are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by the Keeg where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. Whether they're DC, Marvel, or indie comics, they all come out at your local comic shop on Wednesdays, and we are here every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, to talk about all the comics that came out this week that we could humanly read in 24 hours. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and if you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or maybe you're watching the YouTube video after the fact, which people do still. Great, awesome. Or you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, but however you're digesting us, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, hop in the chat if you're watching us live. Let us know you're out there because it's really nice to know that people are out there consuming, digesting the content that we're making. I did mention that I am Dimithri Perera, your host, and I also have an amazing guest here today. We got Ambrosia, aka Comics and Cupcakes.
Hi.
Have you been doing a lot of cupcakes lately?
Oh my gosh, no. I'm so sad. I haven't been doing any baking recently, which is like fall time. This is like your prime time for baking, but life has been so busy. Oh, wait, what is our sponsor drink today? What drink do you have?
Today's Comic Talk is brought to you by, and it's not a sponsorship, not an ad, not getting paid for it, but we wish we could. Zero Sugar Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Oh, fancy. I have, well, first off, please hold. I don't have Baja Blast, but I have the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Cherry Lemon Trolley.
Ooh, okay.
But right now I'm drinking a Liquid Death.
Okay, that's fair. Your volume went down a little bit, so if you want to...
No. Okay.
Kind of?
Better or worse?
Maybe you want to move it closer to your face?
Maybe.
There we go.
Okay, fabulous.
Cool. So, today's brought to you by Zero Sugar Mountain Dew flavors. So, Mountain Dew, come out, sponsor us. We would love it. Whenever Ambrosia and I are on this show, we're always we're all about the money. You know?
I was gonna say we take our hydration seriously, but and the money.
We're all about the money here. We're not even here for our passion for comics. No. We're just corporate shills that want sponsors. But since we don't have any sponsors, I guess we got to remain ethical to ourselves. So all our comic reviews and critiques and everything will be, our opinions and our opinions alone. This show, Comic Talk, we read as much as we can in 24 hours. Then we go live and we talk about everything that we read. Now, Jack, aka the Film Field, who is definitely worth following. Jack's been on a bunch of my episodes before, but he is a relatively new Comic Talk crew member. He wasn't able to make it today, so it's just me and Ambrosia holding down the fort. If anyone's out there and wants to tell us what comics they picked up this week or what looked good, let us know. Because Ambrosia and I, we read a lot, but there are
I don't think I read a lot.
Read, You don't think you read a lot? Tell me,
no.
what was your reading list this week?
Okay, so my reading list was, which I realized that it's all Marvel and most of it is like through the age of Revelations.
Yeah.
So I had Sinister Six, Unbreakable X-Men, Rogue and Storm.
Give me issue numbers if you can.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Sinister Six, issue 1. Unbreakable X-Men. Was this issue 1? Issue 1, yeah. Iron and Frost, issue 1. Rogue Storm, issue 1. And The Amazing Spider-Man, Legacy of Vader. And then I was getting through The Walking Dead. But...
The Walking Dead Deluxe, right?
Mm-hmm.
What issue is it on? It's like 100 and something, right?
Like 144.
Oh, so it's getting close to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I mean, we'll talk about that. We rarely talk about The Walking Dead Deluxe because it's just a colored reprint of the original series, but we'll definitely talk about that today because the comic book industry, does kind of cool new things, and the goal is to get people to buy comics, so sometimes you reprint them and think of it like a director's cut in a way.
But, like, speaking of getting people to buy comics. I have been so excited because I have seen comics outside of the comic book store and not just like old comics, like relevant comics. I was at Circle K, the gas station, and they had a Superman display of comics
Yeah.
of like shoot, what was I don't remember, but some of like the most recent ones. And then they were even on sale for like 3.99, which like
Are they in
typically
the plastic packages that
yeah,
have a couple of comics in them?
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that. So it's funny, you said comics outside of comic shops. I thought you meant like right outside a comic shop they're selling
oh,
comics.
no.
But no, yeah. So back, I mean, we're roughly, the same age. Back when we were younger, there used to be comic books in like grocery stores.
Yeah.
And they got away with that, or got rid of that. And now comic books are almost exclusively in comic shops, which is fine. Comic shops are great. They deserve your support. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. But at the same time, when you're a kid, sometimes what you need as a kid is to stumble across something. Like, even as adults, like, sometimes it isn't about people telling you what to look at. Sometimes you just have to stumble across something random to remember it. And so seeing comic books at the grocery store was like a big thing to me. And it didn't last that long before they went almost exclusively to comics. So I did hear at like the dollar store or those
Yeah.
type of stores, they have those plastic packages of whatever. And I don't know if Marvel and DC are doing it, but you said you saw Superman?
Yeah, I've only seen DC do it because I saw them at the Dollar Tree as well, which was super exciting because I think for one, making them accessible to people. And I think that is like a huge market of it. But yeah, I've only seen DC because I saw like some Batman and some Superwoman stuff over at the Dollar Tree.
Nice. That is super cool. Again, kids don't care if the issue came out this week. They're just trying to get their hands on comics. And sure, this show is talking about literally comics that came out 24 hours ago. But comics in general, they're for everyone. There is a comic for everyone. Find the comics you like. You don't have to remain topical, and then just tune into this show if you want to stay on top of like what came out this week. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good list that you listed. There was some on your list that I wanted to get to, and I just didn't have enough time, and that happens. But the ones that I did do, I read both DC and Marvel pretty much all the time. Jack, I know his list was pretty much all DC. So it was kind of funny that like his was all DC, yours was all Marvel, and then mine was a mix. But I'm holding down the fort for Jack. I think there's only one book that he had on his list that I didn't read. So
Yeah, I was looking at his list.
Yeah. So my list was Amazing Spider-Man 14, Rogue Storm 1, Absolute Flash 8. So the first couple ones were from Marvel Comics. Absolute Flash 8 from DC, Nightwing 131, Batman Superman World's Finest 44, Titans 28, Wonder Woman 26, Krypto, The Last Dog of Krypton number 5, Justice League Red number 3. Oh, and then also for Marvel, Captain America 4 and One World Under Doom number 8.
Oh yeah, I also didn't get to
Oh, and Fantastic
Godzilla.
Four, the Gargoyles Fantastic Four. I forgot.
Oh.
I didn't put that down. But
Did
yes.
you read it though?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hear your take on that.
Oh, I would love to talk about it. But I need to prep that image now because I forgot. But
Perfect.
Out of everything that you read this week, first thing, was there nothing from DC that like caught your interest?
Okay, so with DC, I am a hit and miss with like, or it depends on it depends like where I'm gonna jump in at. I've been reading Absolute. Oh shoot, what was that one?
Wonder Woman?
No. He was in a one of my friends recommended it to me.
Absolute Martian Manhunter?
Yes, thank you. That's the one
Okay.
I've been keeping up with.
Are you familiar with like regular Martian Manhunter?
No, not until recently.
That's crazy that like, because I read the Absolute books knowing the original like character and how the Absolute Universe changes it. Absolute Martian Manhunter is such a critical success that people are picking up Absolute Martian Manhunter without ever knowing Martian Manhunter like normally. And I think that's crazy. I mean, in a good way. I mean, great. It is a departure from Martian Manhunter as a character in a way, but I mean, it's the Absolute Universe, baby. That's how it works.
No, which is it's exciting to read a character that you don't know and then being able to go back and to make those comparisons. Because I mean, like with a lot of characters and their development through time, like there's just so different from like how they are written now versus like how they were first written.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess yeah, but it also changes because uh they are just so well developed and like that Peter Parker wouldn't say that. Like
Yeah.
no. But now
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Um I so I was saying I forget whether I was saying it on the show or not, but or on maybe a separate show or yeah, it was a separate show. It was our Geek News update that we did a couple days ago. DC is firing on all cylinders right now, and it's understandable if people don't read DC because they're not familiar with the characters, but I will say that if anyone jumps into a DC comic right now, you will love the comic whether or not you know the characters. And my personal attachment to Marvel right now is I'm sticking with it because I love the characters, not necessarily because I love the books. There are some really good books, but like the X-Men titles for me, I love X-Men with the bottom, like to the bottom of my heart, but like it's not firing on all cylinders like I want it to, like it has before. So I'm just sticking
Well,
with it because of like loyalty to the characters and the titles and stuff.
no, and I get that because that's why I read every single Spider-Man comic that comes out because do I enjoy all of them? No, not at all. But again, it's that loyalty piece of it of like we're in it for the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. What so I mean we'll hit everything. What was your pick of the week?
Okay, so originally my pick of the week was The Amazing Spider-Man issue number
You
14.
thought that was going to be it? Like
Yeah.
before you read it? Yeah.
Yeah, which I should have known because it hasn't like I don't know why I chose that one because it hasn't been hitting like this storyline hasn't been.
Which storyline do you like? Cuz right now in Amazing Spider-Man there's like two different storylines. Do you like the Earth one or the space one? Cuz
I like
I loved last issue.
um
The space one where Peter Parker's in space and he's
yeah, I'm
teaming up
trying
with
to
Rocket and all that.
yeah. I think I like
We can
I
get
don't
back to
know.
it. It's
Okay,
fine.
perfect. Um, but I think I really oh, no, I lied. I think I put Sinister 6 as like one of my uh top ones. And unfortunately, like it wasn't one of my favorites, but I really enjoyed Rogue Storm.
That's your number 1?
No, I think Unbreakable X-Men is my number one.
Okay. So
Did you read that one?
no, that's the one I didn't read. So let's talk about it. So right now in X-Men comics, they're doing a big crossover event that takes place about like 5 years into the future called Age of Revelation. And that is the X-Men character Cypher now goes by Revelation. He is essentially like the new Apocalypse in a way, and he has essentially like kind of like taken over Earth. So there's kind of this like alternate future that the X-Men are fighting in. And so that's what's going on for the next couple months with X-Men. And then as of New York Comic Con, they announced that all the comics that take place after Age of Revelation, back in the normal present, they're going to be called Shadows of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a new start, right? Like a kind of after this crossover event that's called Shadows of Tomorrow. So tell me about Unbreakable X-Men. This is the one that I skipped. I
Well,
did
and
not read this one.
I would love to hear your input on it because you are so you love X-Men.
Yeah.
And I am newer to the X-Men world and you loved Hickman's Age of Krakoa.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited because Gail Simone is writing this. Um
Oh, this is the one that Gail Simone's writing.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I don't think she's written for Marvel in a hot minute.
Well, she's writing Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, is she really?
So what they did with these titles is, although these are all new names of titles because they're all titles that take place in the Age of Revelation future, they kept the same creative teams and then they just changed the title names, which they used to do. Like when they did Age of Apocalypse back in the early 90s, they did the same thing. Like the Generation X comic, quote unquote, ended, and the Age of Apocalypse comic was called Generation Next. And so like they shift it a little bit. And like I think X-Men became Astonishing X-Men. I think that was the name of the Age of Apocalypse title. But the point being is now it's Age of Revelation. They're doing the same thing and they keep the same writer and artist, maybe, or maybe they shuffle some around and they move them into this like short-lived spin-off until it's over. So Gail Simone was writing Uncanny X-Men with art by David Marquez. Who was the artist on this one?
Lucas
Warnick?
Warnick.
Yeah. I love Lucas Warnick's art. So
No, and it's so good. And it's I think yeah. So I like that team together.
Yeah. What happens in this comic? Because the reason I skipped this comic is because I read the synopsis and I couldn't make sense of it. Like I couldn't even sum up the synopsis after reading the synopsis. I was like,
honestly, this is one that you could reread and still be able to like catch things
Mm.
on. So what we know is that like the issue begins 7 years into the future.
Okay.
And we have Haven House, which is the refuge
in Louisiana.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we have sorry, I took notes. We have the fortress at Haven House. The mutants are forced to mount their defense. We have. Do you know about the virus?
Yeah. So the virus in the future either turns humans into mutants or kills the human. And that's
Correct.
kind of what happens, right? And then Revelation, Cypher used to have the power to understand any language. But now that he's gotten a power boost from Apocalypse, Cypher goes by Revelation. He can be persuasive. So he's communicating the other way. And so there's a lot of X-Men that are working for Revelation, and then there's a rebel team or a couple rebel teams that are going up against Revelation in this alternate future.
Which so this issue basically like sets up a lot because obviously this is like the first issue and we have so many tie-ins to this issue. And then I was looking or tie-ins with Age of Revelation.
Mhm.
And then the amount of titles that are going to be coming out within this month is
A lot.
huge. Oh my gosh, it's so much. And so again,
It's
I don't know
almost
how
too much, right?
it is. It is. And so this is where like I'm for sure going to stick with Unbreakable X-Men because this is like uh the main title
I
to
think
this.
Amazing X-Men's the main title.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was this one. I'm so sorry. But
Okay. That came out last week, Amazing X-Men. Because the
but
plot in Amazing X-Men is they've taken Cyclops and Beast from the past and moved their minds into their future bodies so that they can help them. There's a mystery involved, but that's roughly the plot of Amazing X-Men.
perfect. So we see I hate when we do major like crossover. Again, it gets overwhelming, but also like I really enjoyed Rogue and Storm. Well, but they're even the same. Like they're in the same like unit essentially. But then we had like Iron and Frost, which is something that you typically wouldn't see like in another comic. So I feel like we have like a lot of what if spin-offs
Yeah.
type of thing, which definitely do we need all of these? Absolutely not. I would much rather have them put their time and energy. But on a positive note, we do have like a lot of upcoming writers that we don't always get to see all the time. So we have like Tony, was it Tony Flex, Tony Fleece?
Tony Fleece.
And I think he does the
What's Tony Fleece doing the art on?
He's doing Omega Kids.
Oh, okay, yeah, the upcoming, yeah.
Yeah.
That hasn't come
So
out yet.
no, that comes out next week. And so we have like a lot of cool things, but also is it needed to really have a strong story? And in my opinion, no.
There's a
But
lot
it
going
is so
on.
much.
And I don't blame people. Again, I am an X-Men fan, right? But like I don't blame for saying, let me just put it this way, I don't blame people for just skipping this crossover event outright. Like there are X-Men crossovers that are huge and impactful. There's ones that are fun, and I'm not sure which one this is. So there's a lot of spin-offs with this, but luckily each spin-off is only like 3 issues, I think. Like at most it's like 2 or 3 issues, which cool. But at the same time, like this week, all the Age of Revelation stuff was Unbreakable X-Men #1, Rogue Storm #1, Sinister Six #1, and then Iron and Frost #1. So there's 4 Age of Revelation titles out this week. Last week we had Amazing X-Men #1, and maybe that was it.
I
So
think
like
you're right.
there's like a lot, and then next week I'm sure we're getting a bunch more. And I
Uh,
mean I can look that up, but it's not for everyone. The way a company tackles crossovers, like, and each crossover is tackled a little bit different. Like DC has DCKO going on right now, and like that's a really kind of interesting thing. And I'll go over that with one of the titles that came out this week, Titans. But every crossover is formatted a little bit different. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you have a favorite crossover like that you like a crossover event?
Oh. Um, you know what? Someone asked me that and a while ago, and I had to stop and I think, and I don't think I do. I'm gonna have to come back to that answer. What is yours? Because I don't
My
know.
favorite crossover like event is probably
Yeah.
like I liked Infinite Crisis, which was DC's like Infinite Crisis is my favorite DC crisis of all time. And it was a company-wide event, and they had Infinite Crisis, which that was a miniseries, and then they had four miniseries that tied in with it. And then I'm sure other titles dealt with the events of Infinite Crisis, but like it was Infinite Crisis, and then it was OMAC Project, Villains United, Ran Thanagar War, and Day of Vengeance. And each one was a little bit different. OMAC Project was like spies, Brother Eye, that sort of thing. Ran Thanagar was space. Day of Vengeance was magic. And Villains United was my favorite. And that was like all the DC villains. So,
Oh, that's cool.
like, it's almost like keeping it simple and making it so that like a person doesn't have to read every single issue of a crossover event to like
Mhm.
understand it is good. So I guess Age of Revelation is kind of doing that. You don't have to read everything, right?
No. Okay, I think I liked Maximum Carnage, but that's not your jam, so.
How was that formatted?
Um, well, that one we had like Spider-Man and Venom. I read it in a what is it called? A book, the trade.
Yeah,
Um, and so I don't know how it was originally published.
yeah,
But I read it online, like all together.
yeah.
And I think it was like a 14 part
Mm,
comic book crossover. Um, but I think that was like one of like the first major crossovers that I saw that got me into all the characters that I
mm.
enjoyed.
All right. By the way, I looked at next week.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Next week's Age of Revelation comics are Radioactive Spider-Man #1, X-Men Book of Revelation #1, The Last Wolverine #1, and Omega Kids #1. So you get 4. Did you get 4 this week? Unbreakable X-Men, Rogue Storm, Sinister Six, Iron and Frost. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
4 this week, 4 next week. If you're a
And then,
completionist, I mean,
yeah.
that's
And then 4 the
4,
following week.
you know. So
Okay,
All
sorry.
right.
Going back to Spider-Man. So part one was in Spider-Man Unlimited, and then we had Web of Spider-Man, and then the Amazing Spider-Man, and then
So it
Spider-Man.
was jumping. It was one of those crossover events that jumped around to different titles.
But like the same Spider-Man, like same spider. Like they're all different spiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, different books.
Okay. Okay. And so it's one of those things, like, at least it's topical. So, like, people who read every single Spider-Man, which there are a lot of people who do,
Yeah.
they're going to be picking that up. Yeah. DC had a very small crossover event called, it was not called Legends of Tomorrow. It was called, uh, I forget, but it was something Tomorrow. And it was just jumping around from Superman to another title, to like Justice League Unlimited. And it was like 3 titles at most that was linking it. So, yeah,
Oh.
all right.
Um,
Pretty, sometimes they
isn't
keep it
there
simple.
isn't there another a Marvel DC crossover coming soon?
Another Marvel one?
Yeah. Is it? Mm,
There is Queen in Black. I don't know if you heard about that. We talked
mm-mm.
about that on our Geek News Update episode. Queen in Black, Hela is getting Null's powers, so she's going to be Queen in Black. There's also a Spider-Man Venom crossover event called Spiral or Torment or something. I forget what it's called, but it is introducing a new villain called Torment. That's a Spider-Man crossover that's coming out soon. But I don't know what else.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I thought there was something.
I don't know what my pick of the week is. Okay.
Oh, Deadpool and Batman.
Oh, yeah. But we had Deadpool and Batman. We're getting Batman and Deadpool in
There you
November.
go.
So,
Yeah, because Deadpool and Batman was Marvel, and then Batman and Deadpool is DC.
for the most part, yeah. They both have both symbols on the cover, but
Oh, cool.
which one's first is kind of, I'm sure one had editorial decision on one and one had editorial decision on the other. So
That makes sense.
yeah. I think my pick of the week is going to be Captain America #4. And I've been talking about Captain America. This run is so good.
Is it really?
I was telling somebody yesterday, because I host trivia, and we were talking about comics because randomly the person read comics. And so they asked me whether, because I was wearing a DC shirt when I was hosting, and they said, "Are you just a fan of DC?" And I was like, "I read everything, But DC's firing on all cylinders right now, and Marvel, like, DC is S tier kind of stuff, like A+ level stuff, and then Marvel, their best series are like A's, right? Like, but they're not reaching S tier. I think this series is one of Marvel's S tier comics right now.
Well, and it because that's written by Chip
This is
Zdarsky.
Chip Zdarsky.
Because he's freaking powerhouse. I
Yeah.
love most things that he writes.
Did you read his Daredevil run?
Yeah. I have that one, and I rarely have. Most of the time, I just have like single issues. Rarely do I have like the actual books. But that run, I have in trade back.
Okay.
But no, he's so good. But what have you liked about Captain America? Because I'll be honest, Captain America is like one of my least favorite to read.
Yeah.
But again, like when you have the right writer, I think it makes such a big difference.
Captain America is one of those characters, you need the right writer and you need the right premise. Because there are Captain America comics that like run for a really long time, so they hit a bunch of different storylines, and some are going to be good and some of them aren't, but like the premise is just, sometimes a superhero comic's premise is just, this is the superhero, let's see the adventures he gets into, right? He or she. Like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Like, the comic itself doesn't have a premise, right? It's just, all we know, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. That's it. Like, that's Amazing Spider-Man. When a comic series has a premise, it gives it a little bit more direction, but it does paint it into a corner of what you can do with it. For example, Batman right now has Batman Dark Patterns. And Batman Dark Patterns is different than the Batman title. The Batman title is just Batman. Like, we don't know. There's not a premise to Batman. But to Batman Dark Patterns, the premise is that he's going on noir style mysteries that are in 3-issue chunks that kind of link up, and it's kind of a noir mystery sort of comic. And it's really good because of it. But it is ending after issue 12. Because, like, can Batman Dark Patterns run 100 issues? I'm sure. But at a certain point, like, that's, I mean, do you outstay your welcome with a very specific premise like that? I don't know. You know, anyone out there who wants to chime in can, you know, let me know. But Amazing Spider-Man, is just Spider-Man, and Captain America is sometimes just Captain America. But this, I don't know how they're going to do it in this, but the premise of this run, it is Captain America's like, he's just been unfrozen from ice, and he was unfrozen from ice because of the Marvel sliding timeline after 9/11. Like,
Oh, wow.
technically,
Stop.
technically in Marvel Comics right now, there were no heroes during 9/11. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I
Tony
didn't
Stark
think about
hasn't
that.
been Iron Man for 25 years. Spider-Man has not been Spider-Man for 25 years. Although we would like to say he has, he hasn't, because he became Spider-Man when he was 15, and he's not 40.
No, that makes sense. And, going back to, like, how Spider-Man is just Spider-Man, like, but, those comics that Chip wrote, so, like, Spider-Man Life Stories, like, one
Yeah.
of my favorite storylines. I mean,
Talk about a
even
comic with a premise. That
a
has, like, a very
100%.
specific story they're trying to tell.
And then, like, Spider-Man, Spider Shadow, that was, like, two of my favorite things, like, darkness with Spider-Man, like, it just hit so well. So, again, it's, like, being able to do those specific things that really bring out those characters, like Captain America, who's just kind of like an average Joe type. No, he's not just average Joe, but,
Yeah.
like, in the in my world. And so that's awesome that he's able to do that with this comic.
Captain America is similar to Superman, where you can really see the core of the character when they're paired up with other heroes. So when Superman's in the Justice League, you really get to see Superman be Superman. And Captain America, same thing when he's on the Avengers. You really get to see him be Captain America. But when they have solo series, it takes a really good writer to figure out, like, how do I make this character distinctly them and not just a blank slate with those powers or blank slate in that plot. So in this though, Captain America's been unfrozen from ice maybe like 2010. Like, so there is already a Captain America super soldier right now, but he's like a major, I think. So there's like a major America or whatever. Like, and he fought in the Iraq War. So that's the plot of this story, is that it's like Captain America's first year and he's reporting to another Captain America.
That's wild.
Yeah. And he's meeting Doom for the first time. So he goes into Latveria. In this issue, it's very specifically, he goes into Latveria and he meets Doom for the first time, and Doom, like, quote unquote, respects him. But Captain America's like, you're just like any other dictator. And so Captain America, like, fights him. And so there's that. But this is a young Captain America, a fresh new one that hasn't, like, people don't respect him in the same way like they do now, you
Mhm.
know?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's not commanding people. He's not commanding a troop or a team. He's just one of the guys
He
on the squad.
Yeah, he doesn't have that confident leadership that we see
And people don't
in
know him, you know? Like, imagine if someone was unfrozen from ice from World War II now. Like, we wouldn't really know that person. It's been a long time since World War II.
No, that's wild.
Yeah.
But
So,
that's a really cool, like, idea
yeah.
to have, so
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Like, if, like, how old is the Marvel Universe? Like, right now? The age of heroes, should I say. It's about 15 years old. Like, I would say Peter Parker started when he was 15. Now he's 30. You know?
Mhm. Oh, absolutely, and that's yeah. No,
So,
aging in comics is, I think comics timelines in general are just, Not a mess. They're just all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Anyway, Captain America #4. That's my pick of the week. It's really good.
How long is this issue or this run? Do you know?
I don't know because I know what the next storyline is. The next storyline after this Doom stuff is they're going to introduce other captains from European nations. So like they have plans to go past. It's not just this Doom story. Um so oh, interesting. Oh. Oh. Okay, so just to let you know, this storyline that takes place in the past ends with issue 5. In issue 6, we get back to modern day time.
Oh.
Yeah. So we go back to modern day time and it takes place after One World Under Doom. So after One World Under Doom ends, Captain America 6 comes out, and the plot of that story is after One World Under Doom, the National Security Council, so like the global one, makes super soldiers for different countries.
Oh, interesting.
So, and it's also written by Chip Zdarsky, so you got that to look forward to. You know,
Oh, fabulous!
you should jump on it.
I absolutely will, because I am such a Chip fan.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to talk about next? Because we didn't talk about the other. Let's talk about Rogue Storm
Yeah,
because
that's what I was
that one I read.
uh, and then what kinda sucks is, like, so many of my comics are around this age of Revelation,
Yeah,
and that's like, this is what we were talking about, how so much of it is, like, uh, with crossover events, how much space it takes up in the weekly reads.
yeah,
Because I mean, we're gonna be having 4 a week, and so I think this week I picked up all 4, but I definitely will not be, in the future, but mainly because, like, I enjoy all the characters that they came out with this week.
yeah.
What did you think about Rogue and Storm?
So Rogue
Rogue
Storm, I
Storm.
think Rogue Storm takes place, I think, 5 years after. So I think they're each of these series are taking place in different parts of the future. I think that Amazing X-Men takes place 10 years in the future then, and then Rogue Storm takes place 5 years in the future, so it's 5 years before the events. And they do mention in this comic that Rogue, there are two rogues. There's a green rogue and a red rogue, and you can tell by
Mhm.
their costume. One's wearing the red costume, one's wearing the green costume, and they've been split. So in Rogue Storm, Rogue is leading a team to kill Storm because Storm is the last goddess on Earth. She's killed all the gods, or the gods have left, and she was good, and now she is going crazy for some reason. We don't know why. And so Rogue is leading a team to go kill Storm. And that is primarily, I mean, that's the premise of the book, and not much happens in this issue. And like, there's a fight and some people die, and like, that's it. And it's a lot of backstory and lore. And I thought I would love this book because I do love Rogue and I definitely love Storm, and the art
Right.
is amazing. But oh, and the covers. Anyone watching us on youtube.com/the Keeg Show, you can see the cover art, and the covers alone are amazing. But the story is a little lacking in this, and I'm not sure whether this goes 2 issues or 3, but I will continue with this because I need to see how this ends.
It's 3 issues.
Okay, but I'm not. I by me sticking with this means I'm not going to be sticking with some other titles, you know?
No, and that's why I kind of felt like in the other titles, like, I think how you summarized it perfectly when you said that, like, there isn't a ton going on in, these books, and again, it is because, we're at issue 1. But sometimes, like, issue 1s are some of, like, the best issues,
Yeah.
but these ones, I just felt like it was, in all of them across the board, in all 4 issues, I felt like they were very, like, meh.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love seeing, Emma Frost and, Tony Stark
Well,
together.
I mean, let's talk about that if we're gonna jump. I mean, might as well
How
just
how
finish
much
off these Age of Revelation stuff. I didn't get to read this one.
um, this one was fine. Again, though,
What's the
uh
premise of this book?
Okay, hold on. Let me
It's
pull
called
up my
Iron and Frost #1.
Yes. And so we have Iron Man, Emma Frost, War Machine, Firestar, and Morrow. And this one
Mara?
is
Like the
Marrow.
bone Mara? Like she has
Yes.
bone? Okay, yeah, Mara.
Um, and again, I think this one is 10 years
Okay.
later. So that's another thing is like the timeline isn't timelining.
Yeah,
It's all very all over,
yeah.
which is going to be very interesting. Um, but so this was 10 years later after the 3Ks terrorist attack. And Tony Stark and Emma Frost. We have the Heartless Queen. She returns to her past, and her secrets hide in New York. We have the Hellfire Club, and we find out that they have their new leader.
Who's their new leader? Do we know?
No,
Okay.
no. And then basically, like this is how the X virus changes. So we're into that and how Tony and Emma navigate. Uh, like New York is in ruins. And so how do they navigate the ruins, their losses, and then also like the new coming threats that they have? Um, let's see.
Tony has powers, right? He
Yes.
gets mutated. Is he
Yes.
gold skinned? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
mean, the
this whole
cover art kind of shows it. So,
this whole thing has just been very I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I mean, I like the interactions with the characters. I think that is fun.
mhm.
Um, but I don't know if this event is going to be it. Um,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Was there more?
no, sorry, I was just we were going through everything.
Okay. And then last but not least on this Age of Revelation, might as well hit it. Sinister Six.
Oh my gosh, I hated it.
Was it really bad?
I I don't know. It wasn't terrible. Well, I mean,
The
I will say
lineup
that
looks cool, but at the
the
same
lineup
time,
is
like,
really cool. But again, it's just it wasn't it wasn't it. So you have, and I think it was Scott Craven who wrote this one. No, Scott Craven wrote Iron and Frost.
yeah,
But so the lineup is really cool. We have Black Cat, we have Mr. Sinister, Omega Red, Venom. Um, but and again, like the idea of it is really cool, but I it didn't hit for me.
yeah,
Um, the art is really cool. There's a lot of attack. Um, I mean, we have the mutants and former humans have their powers, and so now we see like alliances are being made.
yeah,
Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, we see them in like hanging out in forest and calling a shot, and we have Black Cat and Omega Red who appear, and so we have like a really cool lineup of people.
yeah.
But where is it going?
I don't know. So here's an interesting thing I mean, that's the Age of Revelation comics that came out this week. Something I've talked about is in TV, the first episode called the pilot because sometimes a TV show doesn't get picked up. You produce a pilot to like pitch your show, right? It's that first episode needs to show the audience what they're getting into, right? And hopefully people love it enough to watch episode 2. You with me so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have we talked about this before?
No.
Okay. The question is, like, you have the length of an episode, the first episode, to essentially like make or break you, right? Like, this is your plot, these are the characters, hopefully people love it. The question with comics is your first issue the pilot or is the first arc the pilot? So for people out there who don't know, the first arc is like the first story of the thing, and it's like 4 to 6 issues. What is the pilot? Because I think the pilot's the first issue because people aren't going to even read issue number 2 if issue number 1's not good.
100%.
So you have to make a really good issue number 1 to keep people reading issue 2.
100%. And I would agree because, I mean, if we're doing it by arc, I feel like every story arc is different. Again, and there's so many factors that go into an arc. I really rely on the first issue because that truly, I feel like, makes or breaks that. That's your foundation to how that arc is going to set. And in my humble opinion, I feel like every single one of these uh, Age of Revolution comics, fell flat, and, that makes me really sad because I try really hard to not, not like a comic
Yeah.
because, like, there are so many factors and so many people that go into creating comics, and I am very grateful to have the opportunity to, like, read comics and have these really cool creators, but also, uh, they're just not what I was expecting for a major crossover event.
Yeah. For me, I feel like if you're a writer that is trying to pitch a long series, you need your issue 1 to be good because you want it to keep going. So like if you read issue 1 of The Walking Dead or issue 1 of Why the Last Man, these are all comics that like had a strong premise and strong issue 1s that they were like, "Oh, this could last a while," right?
Mhm.
But I feel like when you do this crossover event and you're on this thing for 3 issues, you know that you're going to like have issues 2 and 3, and people might not read them, but at least you get to finish your story. So you don't have to like do a really great issue 1 if you are keeping some of the great stuff for issues 2 and 3. But I feel like people aren't going to read your comic then. So I don't know. I'm not saying that these comics were horrible, but I just think that I think they're like slow and they're picking up to issue 2. I wouldn't be surprised if all these comics had really great issue 2s.
I hope they do. And this is where I truly hope that I do. And I think this is where we pick and choose if we are going to continue with that arc because we know the characters. And it goes back to what you were mentioning earlier with like the loyalty of it. And so we know what it could be. And so we are more than most likely going to give the main title an opportunity,
Yeah.
and especially those characters that we like. So will I be getting, Rogue Storm
Issue.
again?
Yeah.
Yes. Will I be getting Sinister 6 issue 2 again? Absolutely.
Mm.
But will I be getting, some of the other upcoming titles? Probably not.
So you're saying it's spoiling it for other titles that you're kind of
Yeah.
forced to continue these, but next week's titles of Radioactive Spider-Man, Last Wolverine, Omega Kids, you might not pick up because,
I think the only one I will pick up is Radioactive
yeah,
Spider-Man.
I figured you
Yeah.
would.
Out of those 4, which ones would you pick up?
What was it? It was Destiny. It was like Book of Destiny, Radioactive Spider-Man, Last Wolverine, and Omega Kids.
Oh, yeah, Book of Revelations.
Book of Revelations.
And I would but also, does the writer make a difference?
For these, no.
Okay.
For these, I'm just like, I want to read the characters in this crossover event. Because I also know that the writer, they're doing their best job, but like, this probably wasn't a crossover event that they came up with. So they're being forced to write 3 issues of a series that ties in that maybe won't be their best work.
No, that makes sense.
You know?
Okay, so out of those 4, so we have, Omega Kids, Radioactive Spider-Man, The Last Wolverine, and, Book of Revelations. Which one would you get? Or which titles are you gonna be picking up?
I mean, I'll probably pick up all 4, but Omega Kids sounds interesting just because it has Kid Omega.
I agree with that one, actually.
He's just an interesting character. So, um, let's move on.
Perfect.
Do
Talk
you
about some
you didn't read
DC.
any DC, right?
No, I didn't. So,
Okay.
yeah, you should,
So
fill us in on all the DC news.
Absolute Flash, it takes place in the Absolute DC universe, which is a different universe than the mainline DC universe. It's a universe about struggle and corruption and all that. The fabric of the Absolute DC universe is made from the soul of Darkseid, so things are bad. But in this was almost a primarily like a flashback issue, no pun intended, but yes, pun intended. And it's all about Barry Allen and Eleanor Thawne, and you get a flashback to like Jay Garrick and Eobard Thawne and how this program that gave Wally West his powers gets started. So it was actually pretty damn good. Absolute Flash is really picking up speed, and I've been liking it.
There's another pun.
I mean, that pun was intended, but like,
I love that.
like Absolute Flash started off kind of slow, but now, I mean, it's been pretty good. So I'm a fan of this one.
I have heard really good things about the entire, for the most part, the entire Absolute
Yeah,
timeline.
yeah. Absolute DC, there's 6 issues or 6 different series. Like, everybody has their favorites. I personally, I love all of them. I am in love with Absolute Wonder Woman. Like, that comic, if you love amazing art with Greek mythology and like a real good twist on Wonder Woman, it's worth it. Do you know the premise of Absolute Wonder Woman?
No.
So like all these books have different premises, right? Like they're different than the regular DC universe, right?
Right.
And so Absolute Wonder Woman, basically in the beginning of issue number 1, we find out that the Amazons have disappeared from Earth. Like maybe a god has taken them or whatever. There's no more Amazons, but instead I forget what goddess comes to Hell with a baby girl, and they give it to Circe. And Circe in the regular main Wonder Woman comics is like Wonder Woman's enemy, and she's a witch. But in this comic, she has a little island in hell that she's trapped on. And Circe is given a baby to raise. So we have a Wonder Woman that is raised in hell by, in another universe, her worst enemy. And that is now her mother in this. So this Wonder Woman is strong and fast, just like an Amazon is. She has a huge sword, and she uses like dark magic. She uses spells. So she's just as much of a sorcerer as she is a bruiser.
Okay. No, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard just fabulous things about it, and I think that Green Arrow, that's newer, correct?
Green Lantern is the series.
Lantern.
Green Arrow, I don't want to spoil anything if you don't know what happened, but Green Arrow did pop up in the one-shot called Absolute Evil that came out a couple weeks ago.
Well, and then, but wasn't it announced that, was it Green Arrow and Catwoman are going to be?
That's
in
right.
the Absolute
Catwoman is
world?
getting a 6-issue miniseries. Green Arrow has either an ongoing or a miniseries.
Cool beans.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about it expanding?
I mean, it's great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Absolute DC, there are some people out there that like are talking that DC is amazing because of Absolute DC, and I think it's Absolute DC is amazing because of DC being great. You get what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's the fact that because DC's doing 2 universes right now, and they're both really great universes. Absolute DC is amazing because of DC, not the other way around.
No, which is great.
Yeah.
I like that. I'd much rather have that than having it the other way around.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you read One World Under Doom?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, that one, I mean, they're wrapping this up. I think One World Under Doom ends next issue, I think. But in this issue, like, all the heroes are fighting Doom again, and he has the upper hand. And this issue, I don't want to spoil anything. It focuses on Valeria Richards and Doom and their relationship. And this crossover event is coming to a close soon. So they're wrapping things up. And there was a big upset at the end of this issue. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
And what issue was that one?
This is issue 8. I think there's issue 9 coming out next month. And then that's it. That's why Captain America 6 takes place after One World Under Doom. Because it'll be over by then.
Cool.
I also read Gargoyles / Fantastic Four, or
Oh my gosh,
Fantastic
please tell me
Four
about this
X Gargoyles. It's a one-shot.
Yeah, I thought about picking it up, but I decided not to.
Are you a fan of the Gargoyles cartoon?
I used to be when I was a kid.
Okay. So, yeah, you don't have to know that much. Like, if you were a fan, you were, this does take place after the events of Gargoyles. But that being said, this takes place in a universe where Gargoyles and Fantastic Four can cross over. But I don't think this issue is bringing Gargoyles into the Marvel 616.
Okay.
I don't think that's what they're doing. But in this issue, they do coexist in the same universe. There's no crossover through multiverse stuff. Like, none of that. They just exist. But it's a cool issue because they do a couple of different things. The Fantastic Four and the Gargoyles team up, and they bring in, as a villain, they bring in Diablo, who wants like gargoyle DNA to become immortal. Like, that's his whole thing. Then they bring in Grey Gargoyle, who is a Fantastic Four villain. And then they bring in the Gargoyle, who is a Gargoyle Marvel character, not related to the Gargoyles of Disney. So, and then they bring in Dragon Man, who is a robot gargoyle looking thing. So, like, there's a lot of like fun little moments in this. I like this issue. So if you're a fan of Gargoyles, you're going to get introduced to characters that got added to the Gargoyles cartoon later that you won't know, but like, it's okay.
I honestly don't even remember. Like, it's been so long of watching the Gargoyles that I don't even know if I would like know.
I think they do a really good job to introduce them in like one line, you know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do you, even though this was a one shot, see, and I feel like this sometimes one shots are also even pilots as well.
Well, they have to be. You have to fit everything in there and you got to sell it on itself alone, you know?
100%. And like, gauge how is this? Because what was it, Gargoyles and Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what talking about like crossovers. Um that's something that I did not have on my bingo card.
Yeah.
And so how is that going to take? And I think that man hit me with a nostalgia, and I think that that really packs on like the emphasis. But obviously not enough if I didn't buy it.
Shout out to Darth Chaco out there. What's up,
Oh,
Chaco?
I haven't
Hopping
talked to
in.
him.
Were you lurking this whole time, Chaco? You know when you come here, you gotta announce yourself. We got Darth Chaco on our YouTube chat. Darth Chaco says Gargoyles could have been so much better if it wasn't for O.J. Simpson. And he says Darth Chaco says it's the worst thing that he's done, referring to O.J. Simpson. Because I think what he's trying to say is that the Gargoyles cartoon kept getting preempted for the O.J. Simpson news at the time. That like
Stop.
you had to like you lost your episodes. Yeah.
I never knew that. I always was like the rerun kid, so like I never got to see like episodes like specifically, but like
Yeah.
whenever you caught them on TV, I had no idea. But that is hilarious, and I'm so sorry that traumatized you.
Yeah, I'm
Essentially,
so sorry, Chaco, that O.J. Simpson did that to you. You know?
I mean, on top of like all the other things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry specifically
Yeah.
that
You
that
know?
impacted.
He will forever go down as the Gargoyle Killer.
We need to read. Yeah, that should be a thing.
Yeah. So yes, Fantastic Four Gargoyles was a good, nice kind of comic.
Wait, what was your issue 1 this week?
Captain America #4.
Captain America. That's right.
Yeah. But there was a lot of good stuff, especially from DC. The fact is, Captain America, like, it's just really good comic, but a lot of DC is really good. Did you read Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe?
No, I was going to. And I thought I had it on my pool list. But I didn't. So yesterday when I picked up my pool, I also was behind a little bit. And so, when you like get a stack of comics, you don't like it didn't hit me until when I was going through everything, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I messed up." So no, I didn't.
Okay.
But I liked where it was going. I mean, it's Godzilla and it's
I only read the first issue, so I kind of hopped off, but I'll hop back, I guess.
I mean, but also don't feel like you have to because I
Obligated?
obviously didn't.
Yeah.
And in this
You're
economy,
clinking your mic.
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I changed up my mic. That was what we were trying to do when I was late.
That's okay. From DC, a good comic was Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 44. So this takes place in the past. basically Batman and Superman are busy. They're on another mission. So they send Dick Grayson, Robin, on a mission with Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. So it takes place in the past. And what's funny is, like, maybe 20 issues ago, maybe a little bit more, because it's issue 44 of World's Finest, they mention that Dick Grayson and Kara went on a date and it went horribly and they hate each other. Like, they're like, we are not compatible. We are two different people. And it's funny because Dick Grayson hooks up with a lot of people, both, you know, when he was Robin and when he is Nightwing later. And so they're incompatible and they really don't like each other. And it's like awkward because they went on one date, just didn't work out, and they can't really stand each other. And so Batman and Superman send them on a mission together, and it's just kind of a fun story. And I mean, do you want me to spoil it?
Oh yeah, spoil, because I don't think I'll read it.
In the end, they make out.
Stop.
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming. It's been like 20 to 30 issues later now. They're like, okay, they made out. Good for them, you know?
Ah, that's funny.
It's cute. It's cute. But then they make out, and then Batman and Superman, like, they show up and they catch them, and then Kara is like, I hate you, and like she's just like leaves. She's not like, it's not like bad, it's like for fun, but like she's just like, bye. And like, so I don't know if they ever hook up ever again, but
I hope so.
I don't know. I'm fine with it ending there because like he hooks up with a lot of people, so like it's fine.
But what? Yeah, no.
Yeah. There was also Titans 28 that came out this week, and this one ties in with DCKO. And the DCKO book we talked about, like, I think it was last episode or the week before, we talked about DCKO issue number 1, and there's a lot going on with it. Titans ties in with it because essentially the world is ending, and this ties in with while the Justice League or certain characters are fighting in this cosmic style tournament that's taking place in DCKO, the Titans are left behind on Earth to rally the troops and evacuate everybody on Earth. Because Darkseid is coming. So this reminds me a lot of the beginning of the Marvel event called Secret Wars, where the universes are colliding, so they take a life raft from Earth, but they can't save everybody, and so it's a whole thing. In this, they're essentially trying to create life rafts for everybody on Earth. And it is a pretty good issue, and the art is good, and it's the end of the world. People are going to die. People have already died in DCKO. I don't know if you knew.
No, I just am used to people dying in comic books.
Do you know the plot though of DCKO?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Darkseid is coming. They get a vision of like a week into the future. Darkseid is coming, and he's so powerful that he will kill everybody. So they have a week to prepare. And what they've decided is they will restart the Apocalypse Heart or something like that. It's the Heart of Apocalypse. If they restart the Heart of Apocalypse, the Heart of Apocalypse will try to find a new champion. And it will allow a tournament. But the tournament is to the death. So 32 characters join the tournament in a bracket-style tournament. And the problem is you have to kill your opponent. So the heroes agree that they will do it, but whoever wins gets the power of King Omega, and they can bring people back to life. So as long as a hero wins the tournament, the deaths won't matter. Problem is, villains join the tournament. And so if a villain joins the tournament, they're not obligated to bring everybody back to life. So in the beginning issue of DCKO, like the first person to die is Shazam. Billy Batson is a kid, and he says Shazam, and he doesn't finish it, he gets squashed.
What?
Yeah. Other characters also, like, they step on mines and they blow up because there's this obstacle course with like death traps. So there's a lot going on with it. And the assumption is at the end of DCKO, one of the heroes will get the King Omega power and then bring people back to life. So,
which is like kind of cool specifically about comic books versus like movies, is that people could die all the time, but then they are brought back to life.
Yeah.
And it like that's something that movies can't do all the time.
Yeah. I'm interested to see like characters like Superman. Oh, and Batman died also.
Ugh, poor Batman.
Joker shows up and kills him.
I could see that, and also, but it's almost like good job because it's one of those things that like the villain just wants to like they
Yeah.
have their eyes on the prize and they never get to have their moment. So good for you, Joker. You get to have the moment
Yeah. You
for now.
know? Um I'm wondering what Superman's going to do in the tournament because you have to kill the person to move on. But Superman's not going to kill, even though you know that the person's going to come back to life. That's the goal. I think that's Superman. I think that's why Superman's not going to bum rush this whole tournament. Because otherwise, Superman's the strongest. He's just going to win the whole tournament. I personally think that, like, yeah, Superman's not going to be willing to kill anyone. And he's going to lose because of it.
Yeah, choices are made.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a
That's
lot of
good.
DCKO tie-ins, but you don't have to read them. So that's kind of good.
Good.
What else did you read?
I only had 2 more comics, and that was I didn't finish Star Wars Legacy. I was a couple pages
Mm.
in,
I
but I
wonder if
always
Chaco
say
read this one.
he better.
You know?
This is right up his alley. So if
Yeah.
Dark Chaco is still on, did you read Legacy of Vader? That was the only Star Wars comic that came out this week.
Yeah.
And it was written by Charles Soule, so
Yeah.
but and the other one was The Amazing Spider-Man. Which at first
We
I
already
wasn't
talked.
sure.
Didn't we talk about Amazing Spider-Man or no?
Like kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Let's
feel
talk
like
about it. Yeah.
oh, maybe not.
No, you're right.
Uh
We didn't talk about it. So, yeah, tell me about it.
so we have a lot going on. Per usual. But we
Yeah.
have Norman Osborn acting as Spider-Man. Like in his place. And then we also have
Peter Parker's
who's
off Earth. He's in space.
he is. And he's also we also know that he's being targeted by the assassin named Goblin Slayer, which I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a really cool name. Who we don't know who Goblin Slayer is.
Mm.
But we have thoughts. Um, and then we have typical and then we have so many spider people in here, and I love it. We have Silk, who I
Yeah.
haven't seen in a hot minute.
Well, we saw them
Uh,
last issue or like 2 issues ago.
yeah, but it's just like every week it's just a nice little like
Yeah. I like this run. I really like Joe Kelly's run on Spider-Man right now.
no, I mean we have Ben Riley in here, and
Pretending to
then
be Peter Parker.
right, as well as Hollow's Eve. Um,
Who is the girlfriend of Ben Riley.
yes. And then we have what all did we have in here? We had Spider Boy. Was it Spider Boy or Spider Girl?
Both. I mean, both are around.
But yeah. So at first I didn't know how I felt about it, but then after talking about the Age of Revelation, I realized that this deserved more credit than what I gave it
Yeah.
for.
This has been a pretty good run. It's fun. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but
No.
like, if you like Spider-Man, I think that this is pretty good.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, sorry. You went out for a minute.
Oh, did it?
But you're
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dropped some frames. So did you? So after this, did you read The Walking Dead Deluxe?
I'm not.
Okay. So The Walking
I
Dead Deluxe is a reprint of the original Walking Dead books, but the original Walking Dead books were black and white, and The Walking Dead Deluxe are colors. They've recolored the black and white and reprinted them, right? So for people who
Yeah.
want that, that's great for them. I mean, I don't remember how many issues there were in the original run, but there was a lot. But right now they're in issue one. What'd you say?
Like 144, I think.
144. So, good on them.
Well, and what was cool is that I never got into The Walking Dead until later. And so this I really like that they that they did this deluxe version of it because I have been able to enjoy it from like a different perspective. So I never got the comics and then got into the show. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
Um, oh, there's 193
Okay.
comics. Um, yeah, and so they started this back in 2020.
Mm. Okay. All right. I think that's all the books for you, but then I have a couple more.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay. Wonder Woman 26. I like this especially this arc right now. So essentially they've introduced this villain called Mouse Man, and he's
Ooh.
kind of this like weird fascist dictator that basically runs an island that's away from society, and everybody worships him as the leader. He's also super strong, and Wonder Woman has ended up there, and Wonder Woman has a baby that she's protecting, and so Mouse Man versus Wonder Woman you would think would be a pretty easy fight, but for some reason he is super powerful, and now he has control of her baby. So I like this one, Wonder Woman 26.
Wow. Perfect.
I didn't get to read Superman Unlimited #6, but I wanted to, but I didn't get the chance. I did read Krypto, The Last Dog of Krypton #5. The issue 4 was very sad.
No.
Like pretty much, if you're asking, does the dog die? Issue 4, yeah, might not be your thing.
Stop.
So Krypto is still alive because Krypto's Krypto, and he hasn't met Clark yet because he just landed separate than Clark, and he's making his way through different like storylines. And so now issue 5 finishes the miniseries. It just kind of wraps things up. So it wasn't an amazing issue, but like Krypto finally meets Clark, and the last time he saw Clark was as a baby, and now Clark is Superboy in this. He's like in high school, and he's Superboy, and like he gets a dog again, and it's nice, it's sweet.
No. Have you ever heard of the website doesthedogdie.com?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's me because
yeah.
I can't. My heart hurts.
What's nice about this series is although Krypto's a dog and he's kind of very simple, you kind of see his emotions, and you also see him learning morality through the actions, because he gets angry at a girl and he gets a vision of the girl dead, but it's in the same way as the dog who died previous issues. So like he knows that he cannot kill, just like Superman knows. Krypto knows that as well. And so I like that.
Good.
Um
Not for the dog dying, but
yeah.
it's fine.
And then last but not least, I read Justice League. Oh no, not last but not least. There's Justice League Red #3, which the art is amazing. It's a pretty good series, and it ends with kind of a big twist, which is the team has to go kill Black Adam. So I
Oh,
think that's interesting. You also get introduced to Red Canary again, and Deadman shows up. So they're finally like bringing the team together. That's pretty cool. And then Nightwing 131. It was an okay issue. Uh, we'll see where it goes with this, but yeah, it is what it is.
who's writing Nightwing right now?
I think it's Dan Waters, but I could be wrong. Yeah. But yeah, all in all, those were pretty much the books. I mean, that we read. There's obviously books out there that
So many.
we didn't get to, but that is good for everybody out there to know, because go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, pick up any of the comics that we talked about today and more, and support your local comic shops. I want to,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And as much as you should support your local comic shops, also, like, if you just financially or cannot hash out the money for comics, or there's not one real close to you, go check out the gas stations or recently the Dollar Store.
yeah.
Because that's where I've stumbled upon. So you may not be able to find the most recent stuff, but like if you just want to get a hold on comics, go check them out.
I would also recommend going to your local public library.
Oh,
Support your
absolutely.
local public library. They're going to have comics there. And I believe with a library card, you get access to Hoopla. And Hoopla, I think, has digital comics as well. So,
Oh, I didn't know that they did comics as well.
yeah, I think Hoopla has digital comics. So, if you guys like, no excuses. There are free comics out there, and there's comics for everyone. And if you want to talk about it, definitely hit up Ambrosia and ask for recommendations, or hit me up. Ambrosia, Thank you so much for coming on
Hi.
the show. Where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Well, recently, I think I've just been trying to survive. So I haven't been on TikTok as much as I would like, but I am on TikTok at Comics and Cupcakes, and on Instagram at Ambrosia_Linda. And what's coming up is reading more comics and talking about them. So
Awesome. You do amazing work. I remember finding your TikTok back before I knew you, and you are one of, if not the longest running Comic Talk crew member on this show. You've been around since 2021, so you
oh,
know,
wild! Time is crazy. It's crazy to think that we're already in 2025.
yeah, it is crazy. I mean,
So,
it's been a year. I think it's been a year and a half, or not a year and a half, 4.5 years
oh my
since you've been on the
god.
show.
Well,
So
thanks for creating such a and I think who was I talking to? I don't remember. But we talked about how amazing this has been to be able to have a community that you have been such a part of creating a safe place for other people to talk about comics, but also giving us a space to meet other people to talk about comics. So
it's
that's
been
on you,
great.
my friend.
I like sharing the things that I love, right? And so we critique things, sure, but like we don't need a whole podcast dedicated to just hating on things, right?
No.
So comics, there are comics there for everybody, and so pick up a comic and read it, and let us know how it goes. Thank you to Ambrosia. Thank you to Darth Chaco who popped into our chat for a little bit. Thank you to anybody out there who's watching and or listening. If you were watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or maybe you listen to the podcast wherever you get podcasts from, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio or Audible, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, wherever. You can find us on all those apps at The Keeg Show or /The Keeg Show. If you want social media, you can go to TikTok and Instagram. Those are two big ones, at The Keeg Show. Or we're on Blue Sky, Threads, all that stuff, at The Keeg Show /The Keeg Show. Patreon.com /The Keeg Show. We got some plans that we're going to be moving forward with that soon. So, get in on the ground floor on Patreon. We might be doing some really fun, interesting stuff behind closed doors that you only get access to if you're, a Patreon member. So, you got that. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, support your local comic shop, support your local public libraries. If you are a fan of Comic Talk, we do this every week, every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We do it live, or you catch it afterwards, but we also have other shows that we do. So you can find all that on social media. That is pretty much it. Thank you, Ambrosia. Thank you to everybody out there. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been Comic Talk for the week of October 16th, 2025. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Super strong or super fast. Gotta beat the boss and get the loot, 'cause it's the king.